Alright, welcome to round one. Unfortunately, I forgot that the hotkey for hitting yes on mulliganing and the hotkey for starting my recording are apparently the same. So, I accidentally mulliganed. Luckily, we weren't too punished for it, getting to keep a playable hand. That's pretty funny, though. My first hand was definitely better than this one, but not, unbelievably better. Just going to play out lands here. Can't believe I did that. Alright, looks like the mirror match here. Going to, I'm just going to play Rage Blood Shaman here. Rather than hold up dissolve, it's going to be more useful, I think, on the whole. We probably won't care about dissolving any of his 3-drops. And if we get to hold up dissolve for his 4-drop or his 5-drop, that's a lot better. I'm going to play Ill-Tempered Cyclops over Ember Swallower here because my opponent's representing dissolve mana. Actually, I'm going to wait until he taps out and then just drop Ember Swallower. So I'm just going to hold up dissolve mana myself. If this is something I care about, I'll dissolve it. It's an Ill-Tempered Cyclops, which, yeah, I think that's worth dissolving. Griptide we will keep. We're going to play the Ember Swallower, which should be big enough that it's very hard to deal with. And then we're going to just keep hitting him with my stupid 2-3. I don't know, maybe it was wrong to dissolve there. I just feel like him having no board presence is pretty good for us. Hopefully he doesn't have anything too strong, like anything that can deal with Ember Swallower, basically. If he just plays a creature here, then we're in really good shape because we just get to Griptide it and keep bashing. Okay, it looks like he probably has a bounce spell of some kind. So we're going to go to our combat step. See what his plan is. He's got, looks like Griptide here. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We got 2 damage through, and we get to drop a Cyclops. Looks like we're playing basically the exact mirror. Just want to make sure this is actually recording. Okay, good. But yeah, so F9 is yes in MTGO, so when I hit, and that's also the hotkey I use to start recording. So when I hit F9, it screwed me up. Alright, what are you playing in addition to that Triton? He's tapping a land. Curious to see what comes out here. Oh, Dragon Mantle, alright. Well, we don't get a 2-for-1 because he does draw a card off of it, but we will still just Griptide that away and then hit for 5, I think. Because that basically means his best play next turn is probably another Crackling Triton, although he did draw a card. And I don't believe there's a 2-mana counterspell in this set. We wouldn't mind hitting a couple lands here, but, you know, enough to monstrosity our Cyclops. He's going to replay the Triton, alright. And what else has he got? Okay, well, we're still going to get in with everything. If he wants to trade Triton for either of our dudes, we can lag out, apparently. Okay. Alright. Making sure that we're actually attacking correctly. He's going to presumably block this guy. Oh, interesting. Dude, I thought he was going to block this guy. Like, he can trade it for Rage Blood Shaman if he blocks, waits for damage, and then sacks. But this way he's just taking damage, unless he has a Triton Tactics or something. We'll see what his trick is here. So he's just going to shoot me with it? No, okay, he has a Coordinated Assault, which we will allow to resolve, and then we will Triton Tactics, targeting this and this. Pay blue. And see what his plan is. If he has another spell, well, so be it. He has another spell. And we lose our Cyclops. But if he doesn't, then we just 2-for-1'd him. Okay, he's just sacking his Triton. Shooting me, and that is more than acceptable. We get through some damage, okay, yes, tap, blah blah blah. And we'll drop an Omen Speaker, and our opponent is at 4. We get to scry 2, we don't want either of those cards. Bottom and bottom. Forgive me for drinking coffee here, but I have a bit of a sore throat. Okay. A Cyclops has 2 moods, angry and asleep. So what's he getting back here? Probably Griptide? This will leave him at... yeah, it has to be Griptide. It's his only spell. Getting some more lag. Going to close Steam just in case that's what's causing it. Okay. MTGO. I hit okay, didn't I? Oh. And opponent conceded. Okay. Alright, so in the mirror here, this is likely to go late, so we may not need things like, we might not need the Omen Speakers. We might actually want to sideboard out the Rage Blood Shaman for something. Although I don't really see what. This card is too likely to get us 2-for-1. We know he has bounce spells like Griptide. I think we probably just leave this as is. Yep, Omen Speakers are still decent, even though our opponent's not going to be rushing us, because they scry. Alright, so we'll submit. I guess one option is Arena Athlete, but again, we have no way to, like, very few ways to trigger it. Actually, maybe I should remove this Guardians and put in something with power. Like Wild Celebrants. Yeah. Alright, actually I'm going to cut Guardians of Miletus for Arena Athlete here. Just because it's going to be slightly more relevant than the 06 Defender, I think. Actually, no, it's gotta be Wild Celebrants. It's gotta be the play if I'm putting in another card. At least this guy gets through his 2/3s. I don't know, this might be wrong, but we'll see. I wish I weren't experiencing quite so much lag. One thing that's interesting is that if you're lagging, the chat client doesn't work, but you can check your rating, and if your rating shows up, then you're still connected to the MTGO client. Like, the chat client's on a separate server, so if you chat, it will still work, even if you're disconnected from the MTGO client. I'm not sure if I'm doing an excellent job of explaining that, but what I'm trying to say is that if you're disconnected from the MTGO client, then your chat client will still function. You'll still be able to chat, even if your actual game is timing out. But you can look at your player information, which is on the same server as this, and not time out. Alright, so we had to mulligan that hand. It had 2 mountains and a bunch of blue cards, but this one we'll keep. Our opponent has kept 7 and elected to play first. This hand's pretty good. If we draw the mountain for Borderland Minotaur, we'll have, stuff we can do. Mnemonic Wall, not an ideal draw there. Hopefully our opponent will respect our dissolve on 4 if we don't draw this. Like, we'll play Crackling Triton, and then we'll see. Alright. What have you got? A Vaporkin. That's probably pretty good against us. Alright, we picked up the mountain. So I'm going to play a Triton here. I'm going to play a Triton here. We're going to take a bunch of damage from this Vaporkin. If we have to, we can trade Triton for it. But hopefully our Borderland Minotaur is just bigger than the stuff that he's playing. And we can like bounce his guys with Voyage's End and then just beat him down with 2 3s and 4 power dudes once again. We can also Mnemonic Wall back our Voyage's End and keep doing that, etc., etc. Opponent's going to hit us for 2. Alright, what have you got here? It is an Ill-Tempered Cyclops. Well, we'll hopefully be able to blow him out with Triton Tactics again. In the meantime, I'm just going to play this Minotaur. And pass the turn. If he attacks with the Cyclops, we'll take it. Mnemonic Wall blanks that at least until it gets Monstrosity. If he does Monstrosity, we can Voyage's End it as well. So the hope is that he leaves this back in an attempt to trade with our Borderland Minotaur, and then we just get him with the Triton Tactics again. If he has a Grip Tide or something here, we could be in a lot of trouble. Alright, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to attack with the Minotaur. Alright, he's just taking 4. I'm fine with that. We can either trade off the Triton for Vaporkin here, which we might want to do. I think that's probably going to be the play. An Ordeal, okay. So, we're going to allow the Ordeal to... Yeah, we're just going to allow him to attack, and then we're going to Triton Tactics on his Declare Attacker's step. And then block with Borderland Minotaur. And get a nice 2 for 1. This is why I really don't like the Ordeals in general. Okay. In response to that, I'm going to Triton Tactics, targeting both of those dudes. No, it doesn't really need to be in response, but might as well. This card is so good. Alright, he's going to Gainsay. Okay. I'm okay with that. I'll let that resolve. Let the Ordeal trigger. Yeah, see, Gainsay is quite good here. Okay. Then I'm going to Voyage's End his Ill-Tempered Cyclops, which will also allow me to scry here. We're going to keep this. And we'll take 2. Alright, here I'm going to attack with both my guys. See, we just basically ate his Ordeal for free with our Voyage's End. We got him to Gainsay a 1-mana spell, which is really nice. It means that we get to play this Prognostic Sphinx with a lot less fear of him gainsaying it. I'm holding this land, of course, because I have Prognostic Sphinx, and we'll be wanting to give that hexproof. Also, I no longer need to Crackling Triton his Vaporkin because the Sphinx blanks it. If he attacks, though, I'm probably just not going to block it because he could have a pump spell for this, which giving this hexproof doesn't deal with. What is this? If this is the bounce 3 dude spell, no? Okay, this is +2/+2 and first strike. Okay. That only makes it a 4/3, and this is a 3/5. I guess he's just there to block. Okay. Well, I'm going to attack with my Sphinx. Because I get to scry 3. I definitely like the 2 Stone Shock Giants. I think we can do better than the Ill-Tempered Cyclops, though. But if I just play Stone Shock Giant every turn for the rest of the game, I think we're in really good shape. So he's not going to block. We hit for 3. I'm going to Mnemonic Wall. Back. Voyage's End. Yes, I do wish to use the ability. And I'm going to not play a land here, in case I need to double hexproof this. He can hit me for 4 with this. If he has... I don't know if there's a way to give... Is there a bestow guy that gives double strike? If there is a bestow guy that gives double strike, then we're dead, because we can't block this thing. But I think that's more or less his only out, is if he can kill us from 14 using just the flyer, before I untap with this Voyage's End. Next turn, he's also currently dead on board, because we attack with everything. He blocks the Minotaur, and then we sack the Triton to kill him. So if he taps out here, he's dead. Which he did. Because he still can only block one thing, and we have a Voyage's End in hand. So I'm just going to Voyage's End the Vaporkin here, since obviously I can't. Yes, we'll keep this. Oh, right, no, that still makes an Oread. Whoops. I forgot about that. So we can trade Borderland Minotaur for his Oread here, because if he doesn't block the Triton, he dies. Or we can just hit with the Sphinx. I think probably I want to just keep him low on permanents, so I'm going to attack with everything here. We definitely don't need either of these lands, but we still want this Stone Shock Giant. So if he blocks like this, he's essentially trading Oread for Triton. We're going to shoot him with the Triton here. I think he should have blocked the other way, because then we don't get to do that. And that puts him to 2. And he needs to find a flyer, and also a way to deal with these Stone Shock Giants. Oh, of course he has a flyer, because we bounced one. So he's not dead yet. And he has an Ill-Tempered Cyclops as well. Don't think he's going to attack with the 4/5 there. I'm going to attack with just the Sphinx. Forcing him to jump with Vaporkin, of course. I'm going to bottom all of these lands. Dang. Sphinx is doing work. If he has Triton Tactics or something, that could actually be quite good for him. And then I'm going to play a Stone Shock Giant and a land to threaten Monstrosity sooner or later. I would like to keep one land in hand for hexproofing this, but also he has to deal with the fact that I'm just playing 5/4s for several turns in a row. So, what have you got? This could be a Boulder Fall, a Perforos' Emissary. Alright, that is quite big. Can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Oh. Alright, Perforos' Emissary and concede. Okay, well, so that was round 1. I think our deck worked perfectly. We just basically had better late game threats than he did, and he had too many 2-for-1 spells like the Ordeals and things like that, so we were able to get him with our bounce spells and whatever. And game 1 we crushed him with Triton Tactics, and then game 2 we forced him to gainsay Triton Tactics without getting value out of it really, and then Prognostic Sphinx is just really, really good, and that takes the game home. So, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the video thus far, and I will see you guys back again for round 2. Don't go anywhere.